Here's why Phyllis should become a free agent on Young and the Restless at Society. Audra tells Nate how glad she is that he's back from Boston. He's missed her too and couldn't stay away any longer. Nate gives her an update on Amy's cancer treatment. So far, it is going well, and they are all feeling optimistic. Damian wanted to stay with his mom, but she insisted she was fine, so he returned to Geno City with him. Nate asks Audra what she's been doing and assumes she's been busy getting Vibrant off the ground. She brags about the great team she is pulling together from her old days and all her ideas for products and marketing concepts. Nate is sure Victor is impressed with Audra's plans and must be shelling out big bucks for this startup. When she admits the funding has not been forthcoming, Nate has to wonder why. They start arguing about how they can't trust Victor, and Nate reminds her they have every reason to suspect next-level deception. Audra tells him to drop it. She changes the subject to them, rather than wasting more time talking about Victor. Nate fills Audra in on how he and Damian got along in Boston. There was a lot of downtime, so they had enlightening conversations, and he saw a new side of his brother. It wasn't all good. Parts of him are still confused and sad. His grief drove him to build walls around his heart. He and Amy have been chipping away at them. Audra has seen that they are good demolition experts, and she's sure he won't give up. Nate says he has seen the more vulnerable side of Damian, and it's only made him want to get to know him better. It feels like they could get close. When he asks if Audra wants dessert, she suggests they skip it because she has something sweeter in mind. As he pays the pill, she checks her phone and notices 2 calls from Victor. They stand up and he repeats that he's missed her before giving her a kiss. Claire arrives at the Abbott manse and updates Kyle on her father's condition. They are still waiting on results from his tests, but they hope he just has a bug. Kyle fills her in on how upset Harrison has been since Summer had to take off to Italy on business. He admits that he told his ex about their plan to move in together. She was kinda cool about it. This surprises Claire since they agreed to wait to tell Harrison about it, but she hopes this means Summer is finally accepting them being together. Whipping out his phone, Kyle shows her a real estate listing and says it could be their new home. Claire's startled that he's already looking for places for them. Kyle says he just checked out the listing for Adam's old place and was struck by how it has everything they could need, like a gym, pool, and located right across from the park. When he urges her to ask her uncle for a deal, Claire stands up and points out that he involved her more when he was looking for a place without her. Kyle apologizes for jumping ahead a few steps. He didn't realize how slow she wanted to move. Claire wants them to do things right and not rush. Kyle suggests that they buy Adam's place and get him on their side to help soften up Victor. They go over the pros and cons of the location. Claire decides they should see Adam's place and offers to set something up with her uncle. They giggle and hug. If this all works out the way Kyle hopes, they could be living together within the month. Claire thinks that's pretty darn amazing. They kiss. Running into Lily at Crimson Lights, Damian updates her on Amy's treatment. She's glad to hear it's going well. They sit, as he wants to apologize. He admits that he has been rather aggressive and overly defensive with her. That's not usually how he is. He was angry about all that had been thrown at him and couldn't see other people's perspectives. When he was in Boston, he had time to reflect. He and his brother also had lots of time to have deep talks and let down some of their defenses. Talking to Nate helped him get out of his head and see how others see him. He realized that he's encroached on the life of her family and is sorry for that. She accepts the apology and is happy he's bonding with Nate. Damian senses she still doesn't totally trust him, so she reminds him she wants to know what his boss Dumas is up to. Why is he interested in her company and family? What's the agenda? Damian admits that prying into his boss' interests is tricky for him. Dumas is a powerful man and his fate is in his hands. Lily asks him to set up a meeting for her with Dumas. That gives Damian a laugh. He explains his boss chooses who he wants to meet with, not the other way around. It's hard for Damian to say no to her, so he will try, though he urges her not to get her hopes up. In exchange, he asks her to have a drink with him in the jazz lounge dedicated to her father. He wants to learn about the man who won so much love and respect in the city. Lily and Damian sit in the jazz lounge at the bar. She points out the portrait of her father on the wall and admits that she can still hear his voice. Damian often hears his father's laugh when he thinks of him. That man loved to laugh, and it was infectious. He knows she lost her father suddenly too. She and Tivan share that with him. They discuss how that kind of pain stays forever. Damian says the grief made him stronger, and she says it has made her the woman she is today. They toast to Neil. Damian admits that he built a wall around himself after losing his father. That's where his strength is. She thinks the real strength is letting the wall down and letting people in one person at a time. She urges him to start with his mom and Nate. A guy like me could always use more friends, he admits. Billy and Sally sit at a table in the athletic club with glasses of champagne. He double-checks that she is okay with walking away from fashion. Sally admits fashion is her passion, but she's not totally walking away. She has loads of ideas for how their platform can address fashion. They chat about how hard it was to push Phyllis out of the company, and then raise their glasses to toast to themselves. Phyllis drifts in just in time to spot this and grabs their bottle, accusing them of having no remorse about ousting her. She assumes Sally is over the moon to see her gone. Sally says they know she had good intentions for Abbott Communications and would not celebrate taking that from her. "I'm not going away easily," Phyllis warns them. Flopping down in a chair, she pours herself some champagne and starts arguing with Billy. She's still determined to help build the company, but he says she can't come back. Phyllis argues that he needs her, and he explains he's found someone to help him while she takes time to heal. She glares as he explains that Sally is taking her spot. Phyllis accuses Sally of driving Summer out of the city. Sally explains that she left her job and turned down Chelsea's as Billy's offer was too good to pass up. Phyllis accuses them of having this planned and assumes Sally plotted to take her place. Billy tells Phyllis he's only been trying to be her friend and hopes she will see that one day. Groaning, Phyllis says this is a pattern with him. She brings up what he did to Lily and warns Sally that no matter how charming and sweet Billy can be, he'll still pull the rug out from under you. She's sure the same fate awaits Sally. Pouring herself another drink, Phyllis toasts to getting the last laugh. "That's it, no more," Billy says. He tells her to get help and reminds Phyllis of how many ultimatums he gave her and how she never listened. Phyllis warns, "You're going to be sorry you did this to me," before walking out. Billy tries to get back to celebrating, but Sally's no longer in the mood. She worries that Phyllis' threat was real. Phyllis goes to Crimson Lights and orders a double shot of espresso before sitting in a booth. "Well, this isn't over, not by a long shot," she grumbles to herself. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Pulse Canvas. It's me, Julie here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching. So let's dive into today's video. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Tuesday, May 6, 2025 are here. In tomorrow's episode, fans can expect Victoria Newman to confide in Nick Newman. Tessa Porter is suspicious of Mariah Copeland. Plus, Diane Jenkins Abbott confesses to Jack Abbott. Keep reading and let's talk about what is coming up in the CBS soap opera. In the next episode, fans will continue to see Victoria worry about Cole Howard. Cole went to the doctor but is still waiting on the results from the tests. While Cole hopes it's just a cold, signs are pointing to it being something much more serious. Victoria has been really worried about Cole. Until they know what Cole is dealing with, Victoria will need someone to confide in. That person will be Victoria's brother, Nick. Victoria will open up about Cole's health issues, as well as Claire Grace Newman moving in with Kyle Abbott. Victor Newman might also be brought up. The most important issue to Victoria right now is Cole's health, though. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Maria is still keeping a secret from Tessa. Maria is convinced that what she did was so awful that she would lose Tessa forever. While Maria has been keeping her betrayal hidden, she's not very good at hiding her guilt. So Tessa will continue to get suspicious. There will also be Diane, who makes some kind of confession to Jack. Lately, Diane has been all about the Abbott Mansion renovations. While everyone seems to be thrilled with the updates, Billy Abbott wasn't too complimentary. In fact, he harshly criticized the work Diane had done. While Billy is just acting out, Diane could take his words to heart. Diane might wonder if Jack and Kyle are just telling her what she wants to hear. Diane really seems to be struggling with figuring out her place in the family. The reformed villain was really hoping that this project would earn her some recognition and respect. While Jack will demand an apology to Diane, I'm not sure if Billy will give it. With Billy secretly having a deal with Aristotle Dumas, how long until Jack finds out the truth? Will Billy lose both his family as well as his second chance at business? The Young and the Restless spoilers and updates reveal there are 4 intriguing mysteries that Y and R must unravel. So let's delve into the pressing questions of Genoa City. The show is expected to reveal some answers in the upcoming weeks, so here's what the fans are eager to discover. Victor Newman is uninterested in the specifics of Audra Charles' scheme to sabotage Kyle Abbott and Claire Newman's romance. But the audience is eager for the details. Audra has kept her plans under wraps, yet she has consistently emphasized that her emerging cosmetics line is crucial in her strategy against Kyle. However, she faces a dilemma. To secure funding for Vibrant, she must demonstrate tangible progress to Victor. This puts her in a precarious position. Eventually, Audra will need to take daring actions to disrupt Claire and Kyle's relationship, especially if she hopes to persuade Victor to invest in her new business. A captivating enigma revolves around Aristotle Dumas and the mastermind behind his vast empire. Speculation suggests that a recast of Kane Ashby, last portrayed by Daniel Goddard, might play a role, which is certainly worth considering. Could Billy Flynn be stepping in as a younger version of Kane, or perhaps a character affiliated with him? Might Aristotle reveal itself as a familiar face from the past, or even introduce an entirely new persona? Nevertheless, Lily Winters is resolute in her quest to uncover the identity of Aristotle and decipher his true intentions, so viewers can expect some revelations in due time. Maria Copeland confided in Sharon Newman about a regrettable incident during her business trip that she wishes she could take back. However, she refrained from revealing the specifics of what transpired after she overindulged in alcohol. The most likely scenario suggests that Maria may have been unfaithful to Tessa Porter, yet the show's ambiguity is puzzling. Maria mentioned that her actions would make Ian Ward proud, but would he truly admire her for betraying her wife? Perhaps Maria's actions were more surprising than anticipated, leaving fans eager to learn the full story when she eventually opens up to Tessa. Finally, Y&R needs to disclose the health crisis that Cole Howard is grappling with, and whether he has a chance of pulling through. Unfortunately, the outlook for Cole appears bleak, raising the possibility that he may not survive. Should Cole's illness prove to be terminal, it will undoubtedly usher in a heart-wrenching new chapter for his family, particularly for Claire and Victoria Newman. His doctor may soon deliver some dire forecasts, and we will keep you posted on any distressing developments. Upcoming teasers for the CBS soap promise to unravel these enigmas, along with any fresh mysteries that may arise, so stay tuned. We suspect it will be bold and beautiful. On the May 5 episode of The Young and the Restless, Phyllis made a big show of demonstrating for Billy and Sally how much smarter than them she was. Obviously, Phyllis knew that Billy would dump Sally the way he once dumped Lily and Chelsea, and oh yeah, Phyllis. And, obviously, Billy's company would fail spectacularly without Phyllis there to make it the same success she'd made all her other businesses. Like, well, you know, all those other successful businesses she just can't recall at the moment. But if Phyllis was so sure Billy and Sally would self-destruct the minute she stepped away from their table, why did she feel the need to order multiple shots of caffeine and sit there, stewing and plotting and mumbling? This isn't over. Could it be that Phyllis isn't as confident in Billy and Sally's failure as she pretends to be? Could she be planning to nudge matters along, as only Phyllis can? Genoa City seems to have forgiven Sally for the sins she committed while in town. You know, sins like getting Summer her dream job in Italy and dating Nick while being pregnant with Adam's baby. So Phyllis may need to go further in her plot to humiliate the woman sleeping with the man Phyllis no longer wants to sleep with, but doesn't want him sleeping with anyone else either. Phyllis may need to go to Los Angeles for this one. Before she arrived in Wisconsin, Sally lived in sunny, shiny Le, the setting of the Y&R sister soap, The Bold and the Beautiful. There, her sins were a bit more numerous, culminating with Sally lying about having a terminal illness in order to hold on to Wyatt and kidnapping Flo, the woman Wyatt truly loved, holding her hostage as a way to keep the lovers apart. Oak, that one is really bad. Phyllis will have to make sure Billy hears all about it. Phyllis isn't taking being fired lightly. The Young and the Restless recap for Monday, May 5 sees Claire pump the brakes, Phyllis crash the celebration, and Audra squirm. At Society, Audra back to Genoa City. He told her Amy's treatment was going well. Nate asked what Audra had been up to. She painted a busy picture, new product launches, fresh marketing ideas, and big ambitions at Vibrant. But when the conversation turned toward funding, Audra's confidence wavered. Despite her polished facade, she admitted she hadn't received any investment from Victor. Nate immediately smelled something off. She chalked it up to red tape, but Nate warned her not to ignore the warning signs. Still, she insisted she had everything under control and quickly shifted the focus back to him. Audra wanted to know how things went with Damian. Nate explained that Boston gave him and his brother a real chance to connect. While he saw some good in Damian, there was plenty of unresolved grief too. Losing the man he thought was his father had left deep scars. Amy and Nate made progress too. Audra noticed missed calls from Victor just as she invited Nate home. Meanwhile, over at Crimson Lights, Damian caught Lily on her way out. He stopped her with an apology and asked for a moment of her time. They sat down, and he said he wanted a reset. While in Boston, Nate helped him recognize how his sudden presence might be affecting Devin and Lily. Lily heard him out and accepted the apology, but she remained wary. She wanted to know what Dumas was really doing in Genoa City. Damian wasn't eager to jeopardize his position, but Lily pushed him to broker a meeting with his mysterious boss. That made him laugh. That's not how Dumas operated. Still, he agreed to try, and in return, asked Lily to join him for a drink so they could talk about her father. At the GCAC lounge, Lily showed Damian Neal's photo and opened up about how his presence still lingers. Damian shared his own pain about losing his father and the walls he built to protect himself. Lily encouraged him to let people in. Elsewhere, Claire joined Kyle at the Abbott estate to check in. After a quick update on her dad's illness, the conversation turned to their relationship. Kyle casually floated the idea of moving into Adam's now vacant place, which he'd already researched. Claire was stunned that he made moves without her input. Though he apologized and said he only wanted to plan for their future, Claire reminded him she needed things to move more slowly. They agreed to view the place together. Billy and Sally tried to toast their new beginning at the GTAC, but Phyllis crashed their celebration. She assumed they were rejoicing over her downfall. Sally denied it, but Phyllis wasn't buying it. She sat herself down and poured a glass of champagne. Things got ugly fast. Phyllis accused Sally of plotting for her job and accused Billy of repeating his pattern of firing partners and replacing them with the next woman in line. She didn't flinch when Billy insisted it was about helping her heal. Instead, she warned him he'd regret this betrayal before storming out in classic Phyllis fashion. Tessa realizes Maria is hiding something on Y and R. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Tuesday, May 6, see Maria worry Tessa as Diane confesses something to Jack. Plus, Victoria confides in Nick. It's going to be a day filled with drama, so you won't want to miss a minute. Maria returned to Genoa City, and Tessa immediately noticed something was off with her wife. Of course, Maria played it off. However, later, Maria told Sharon she had struggled greatly over Ryan's return. She hinted at something she'd done while very drunk during her trip, something she vowed never to tell anybody. It's no surprise, though, that Tessa is troubled by Maria's behavior since she's not doing a very good job acting normal. Did Maria cheat, or is something else going on here? Everyone really loved Diane's big changes at the Abbott mansion. Of course, Tracy and Ashley haven't seen it. However, everyone who did see it loved it, except Billy. He told Diane how much he hated that it no longer felt like his dad's house. When Diane makes a confession to Jack, we suspect it has something to do with Billy's behavior. Certainly, Billy rained on Diane's parade after the resounding triumph her redecorating had been for others in the family. Victoria is beside herself with worry over Cole. He recently returned to Genoa City, and his health has taken a dramatic turn for the worse. Clearly, Cole has something far more serious than a cold. We think that Victoria confides her worries about Cole to Nick. We expect Nick to stand strong for his sister and help her as she navigates this difficult time. Of course, she may confide something else in her brother, but it seems Cole is at the forefront of her mind right now. She should strike out on her own. Phyllis was cunning and intelligent. She used to never take no for an answer. That all changed when Billy fired her on the Young and the Restless. But instead of latching onto other people's businesses and successes, she should strike out on her own. In the past, Phyllis successfully launched the Grand Phoenix. She could run a business until it became a bad omen. It became the place where the worst things would happen. Phyllis sold the company to Lily and her company, Chancellor Winters. She's had a grudge against them ever since. We could see Phyllis rising back up from the ashes. She could release a new hotel that could rival the Genoa City Athletic Club. It's time for her to move on from the past. Phyllis could start her own business. Possibly, she could work with Daniel. Something that's not corporate and sparks his interest, of course. She doesn't need anyone else to guide her future and success. Phyllis got fired twice by Billy. We also know that something isn't right with her. She should use this time to focus on herself and to heal. She hasn't processed the events from the last few years. This probably wouldn't be the right time for Phyllis to start a new business, since she's not in the right frame of mind. However, she could successfully start over again once she gets the help and treatment she needs. We're interested in seeing where Phyllis goes next. She should ditch Billy and take care of herself. Then, she could be the fierce and successful entrepreneur she once was. What are your thoughts? Do you agree that Phyllis should become a free agent? When would you like to see her next? Let us know in the comments section. Melissa Claire Egan was tired after a long day of filming multiple Y and R episodes. The Young and the Restless runs a tight shooting schedule. Since soap operas air 5 times a week, cast and crew work hard to film multiple episodes in a short time span. Melissa Claire Egan, who plays Chelsea on the daytime drama, gave fans a glimpse into the BTS action. Most of the time, Egan is shown having fun goofing off on the Y and R set with her co-stars. But on one particular day, she was all business as she prepared to film multiple episodes. On her Instagram story, the actress documented a hectic day to her followers. Egan started off with her morning arrival at the studio, with script and coffee in hand. "I'm shooting 3 episodes today." 3. and I counted 51 pages. Wish me luck, she told fans. Hours later, a glammed-up Egan gave followers an update on the day's progress. Okay, Lizzie Hendrickson told me I should be documenting this day because it's so insane. And that's a good idea, Egan said as she walked down the hall. One showdown with the fabulous Eric Braeden. Now I'm going to run lines with Mel the legend. Mel Thomas Scott for episode 2 today. That's what is going on so far. Keep you posted. 1/3 of the way through. After taping was finished, Egan posted a photo of herself passed out on the Society set. That's a wrap, she captioned the picture. There's no doubt Egan was exhausted after a long day of filming. Seeing the BTS action gives a perspective about how much work goes into a soap opera. The cast and crew go through a lot to bring Y and our viewers their daily dose of drama and entertainment. Michelle Stafford bids farewell to on-screen daughter Allison Lanier during her final day on My and Our Summer, has officially bid farewell to the young and the restless. Allison Lanier, who's been playing the role for the past 3 years, made her final appearance on May 2nd. Lanier's exit was a sad moment for everyone, including her on-screen mom, Michelle Stafford. Last week, Lanier shocked the soap world by announcing her exit from My and Our. The actress took over the role of Summer in 2022, replacing Hunter King. Although she had big shoes to fill, she won over the audience, who loved her version of Summer. However, on Friday, May 2nd, fans watched Lanier's final appearance in which Summer departed for Italy. It was a bittersweet moment as Summer said goodbye to her family before leaving Genoa City. Following Lanier's final episode, her co-star and on-screen mother, Stafford, posted a sweet tribute on Instagram. Stafford shared a series of photos of her and Lanier behind the scenes and as their characters Summer and Phyllis. This girl, what can I say about you? You walked into this role and immediately made it your own, Stafford wrote. The only unfortunate thing is most of the time, and in particular during the first year and a half, our characters were at odds. Lots of fighting on screen, but man, you jumped in and killed a single day. Stafford went on to say, you are an extraordinary actress. What a pleasure for me to work with you. Truly a pleasure. You are a consummate professional. I have no doubt we will be seeing you on the screen sooner than later. I completely believe in you. Thank you for inhabiting the character so thoroughly. I truly felt like I had a real daughter in you. Go out there and soar, you gorgeous girl. I absolutely 100% know you will. Thank you for the pleasure, Allison Lanier. Just when fans thought the Newman family couldn't get any more twisted, The Young and the Restless has unleashed a bombshell that's shaking Genoa City to its core. Victor Newman, the titan of business and manipulation, has been hiding a jaw-dropping secret. He has a daughter no one knew about, not even Nikki or his children. And the person most horrified by this revelation? Claire Grace. In a tense and emotional episode, Claire was searching through confidential Newman family files, believing she was helping Victoria track inconsistencies in the company's finances, when she stumbled upon something shocking. A sealed birth certificate, a private trust account, and DNA results hidden in Victor's encrypted files. When Claire confronted Victor, expecting a denial or some sort of business cover-up, she was met with a cold, calculated truth. Victor admitted it all. Years ago, I had an affair, a mistake I buried so deep, I thought it would never resurface. But she's my daughter, and no one can ever know, not yet. Claire, still reeling from trying to rebuild her life and identity after learning she was once Eve Nicole, was completely blindsided. How many more secrets are the Newmans hiding? She cried out as her faith in Victor, the man who recently welcomed her into the family, was shattered. Viewers watched in disbelief as Claire broke down in the Newman Ranch living room, her voice trembling with a mix of betrayal and confusion. You taught me to tell the truth, to own who I am, but you're hiding a whole daughter? Little is known about Isabella, but sources hint she may already be in Genoa City under a false name. possibly even working close to the Newmans without anyone realizing who she truly is. Online fan theories are running wild. Some believe Isabella might be Audra Charles in disguise, while others suspect she could be linked to Nate Hastings' mysterious past. The show is reportedly casting a new actress in a high-profile, legacy-connected role, further fueling speculation that Isabella will soon step into the spotlight. And when she does, all hell will break loose. Victor Newman has spent decades building his empire and controlling the people around him. But this secret could bring it all crashing down. Nikki, who has stood by Victor through countless affairs and betrayals, is rumored to soon discover the truth. How will she react when she finds out Victor kept yet another love child hidden? Victoria, Nick, and Adam, already struggling with inner rivalries and power grabs, will undoubtedly see Isabella as a threat to their inheritance and status. Will this new daughter become an ally or a dangerous enemy? Social media lit up instantly with reactions to the shocking twist. Hashtags like #VictorSecretDaughter, #YouAreTwistOfTheYear, and #PoorClaire trended within minutes. Some fans are even calling for a DNA showdown between all of Victor's known children, just to be sure no other secrets are hiding in plain sight. One thing is certain, this storyline is just beginning. With Claire emotionally spiraling, Isabella lurking in the shadows, and Victor trying to contain the fallout, the stage is set for a Newman family war, unlike anything The Young and the Restless has seen before.